Why are the people who are supposed to represent us so opposed to the new ideas that we bring them, even though those ideas are as old as the American founding? Let me tell you a story about one of my colleagues. It's about him, and it's also about me. A couple of my fellow state representatives were sharing a meal. One guy said something about me, and it got back to me. He said, "That Greenberg guy, I do not understand him. He goes to the floor of the House and speaks against other legislators' bills." That is the punchline of the story. Think of that. Think of the kind of paralysis and stagnation that you get in government with that kind of attitude. Think of the lack of progress we have in Arkansas because some people think it's bad manners to disagree with other people in public. This attitude is strongest at the very center of political power here in Arkansas. Let me tell you another story about Arkansas's Speaker of the House and the way he tried to tamp down debate over our most recent tax increase, which I opposed earlier this year. Representative Greg Reed, standing on the House floor, was explaining how important it was for us to raise taxes. And everybody in the House was listening because everyone recognized that stripping $90 million out of Arkansas's economy is very serious business. Well, Representative Reed explained why he wanted to tax more and spend more. He said it was because he's a fiscal conservative. Well, the real fiscal conservatives knew on that day that we were going to be outvoted, but we hadn't realized that we were also going to be insulted. And so a couple of us just started laughing at the absurdity of the situation. Now, I guess someone who wants to tax more and spend more can call himself a fiscal conservative. And I guess you could describe a bank robbery as a financial transaction. But there is a risk that people will laugh at you when you talk this way. And I guess a few of us did. Now, when we started laughing in the House, the Speaker of the House got very upset. He wrote on his weblog that the legislators who laughed don't seem to think that they did anything wrong. He scolded us by saying that laughing showed a complete lack of respect for the House of Representatives. He and I have a fundamental disagreement about who was showing disrespect to whom that day. Now, to his credit, the Speaker realized later that he overstepped when he criticized us for laughing that day, and in the face of media criticism, he apologized. But the lesson remains. The attitude that we should never disagree in public is a huge aspect. It's a powerful weapon of the political establishment. Even when we manage to pass good legislation through the House, too often the state Senate is where good bills go to die. In fact, the House passed many tax cuts this last session, but typically the guardians of gridlock in the state Senate killed them all. In the House, we passed an income tax cut, but it was killed in the Senate Tax Committee. We passed a sales tax cut. It was killed in the Senate Tax Committee. Getting rid of taxes on used cars, we passed it, killed in the Senate Committee. Tax relief for our brave soldiers defending us in foreign lands, killed in the Senate Tax Committee. And tax relief for families with disabled kids, killed in the Senate Tax Committee. If only we had a few more state senators in Arkansas who were less committed to the political establishment and more committed to lower taxes and smaller government spending. Now, my own state senator is retiring, and many people have suggested to me that instead of running for re-election, that I should run for the state Senate instead. Let me ask you, do we need more people in the state Senate who have a track record of standing up for open government, ethical government, individual responsibility, and conservative values? Well, should I run for the state Senate next year? Well, can I have your support next year? Well, in that case, it is settled. And I'll make an official announcement later this year, but I want to make this clear. I want to be your next state senator from Pulaski and Saline County.